Hi, my name is Brian. The other day we shot this short film, Search for Simple, and today I wanted to do a quick breakdown of how we shot it, how we edited it, how we color graded it, and kind of everything in between. So first we're gonna go over the camera, the settings, what we used. Next we'll go into the editing, kind of how we piece it together, and last we'll go into the color grade and kind of how we get that color grade from that flat image to something a lot prettier. So let's get right into it. So the whole video was shot on a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 4K. It was in a custom rig that I built. You can check out the video here where I go over the rig and kind of detail all the parts. It's awesome for when you don't want to use a gimbal and you just want to shoot handheld, super quick and easy. Perfect for that. The whole video was shot in 4K, switching between 24 and 60 frames per second for slow-mo, and it was shot in ProRes LT, which is an awesome format for color grading, super easy to scrub through in Premiere, perfect for that. ISO was set at about 400 throughout the entire video, and a variable ND filter was used to darken or brighten the image as need be. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna play the film alongside some GoPro footage from a GoPro I had on my head, so you can see how I held the camera rig to get certain shots or to get certain angles or maneuvering around the car. So stay tuned for that at the very end of this video. Let's get on to editing. Okay, so we have our project open up in Premiere, and let me give you a quick rundown of how everything is organized. So all the video is kept in here, Blackmagic footage there, GoPro footage is right here, sound is kept in there, miscellaneous stuff is kept in there, and then stuff I use for editing is in there. But let's pop over to the sequences area and click on uncut. So you can see this uncut sequence, it's basically all the footage from the day. So about 4 hours and 30 minutes of footage, completely unedited, just dropped in there, ready to go. And so now we're gonna go over and create a new timeline called Cut 1, and piece by piece drag footage from the uncut timeline over to Cut 1. So we're starting to cut it down to the good pieces. So here we have about 40 minutes of good pieces. We're gonna keep cutting it down, pop over to Cut 3, pop over to Cut 5, check that out. And then by Cut 7, basically the whole video is ready to go. So, you know, titles are in there like that, audio's in here, the song is in there, and all the cuts are perfect just the way I want them. All the framing is good like that. And so that's basically the linear method of how I edit videos like this. And so now that we've covered that, let's go into the color and how we get the color grade for this video. So what you see on the screen here is a log image. So it's super flat, but you have all the details in the shadows and a lot of the details in the highlights. Nothing's blown out yet, so we're good to go for the grade. So what I do is I put an adjustment layer over all of the clips that I want to grade, and then just start going through these settings up here. So let's enable basic corrections, and you can see some changes start to happen. So what we have going on here is a LUT changing the film look to something similar to Rec 709 called Extended Video 4. That LUT is from Blackmagic. And then after that, I just have some temperature adjustments, bumped exposure, bumped contrast, and drop down highlights and shadows a tiny bit. Now let's enable the creative tab, and you can see here some more changes happen. I have a LUT over here, and I have that set to 81.5 intensity. I will link this LUT in the description. It's free, it's awesome. I used it on a bunch of my videos just for some basic grades. Now let's enable curves. Some more changes take place. You can see I lifted the blacks a little bit and then dropped these down a little bit over here. I also took a tiny bit of blue out of the sky, which I don't normally do, but it looked cool for this video. Color wheels, let's enable these. And now you start to see some magic happening in the shadows on the actual car. We're getting some greens in there a little bit more, and the midtones are pushed towards the reds and purples, and the highlights are kind of in the orangish area. Orange. And that's it. So you can see the color grade, it works for all of these clips. You know, it's the base grade. However, sometimes I get into clips and grade them a tiny bit more. So you can see with this one, if you click on the actual clip, you'll see these two grades. And what I did here was I added a mask to the sky. So I made it a little bit darker and a little bit cooler to bring back some blues that I took out earlier. Looks awesome. And then another mask near the ground where I brought up some saturation and some temperature. So it just creates that awesome contrast here that we like to see. And that's basically how the whole thing was colored. It's this base grade over the video, and then a couple individual adjustments to clips after that. And just like that, our video is all colored, ready to go. And that's the breakdown. Thanks again. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. If you have any questions or comments, put them below. I'll get right back to you as soon as I can. Until next time, here's that footage of the GoPro side by side with the footage from the handheld rig that I promised you guys earlier. Bye-bye.
Well, it ain't cheap being poor, and I can't take any more of the tickets and the taxes and the fees. I work hard for my pay, and they take it away like they don't Here I got a family to feed. They cut my shifts at the mill. I fell behind on my bills, and when you're late, they try to charge you more money. They were riding my back, so I just cut them a check. Then the bank charged me a low balance fee. Yeah, it ain't cheap being poor.
It ain't cheap being poor.
No, it ain't cheap being poor.
It ain't cheap being poor.
I work hard for my pay, and they take it away, and they wonder why the hell I'm so poor. I wanna buy a boat to try to save a few bucks, but I can't 'cause I'm down to my last penny. And my insurance is high on my beat up old ride, 'cause I'm living on the rough side of the city. Yeah, it ain't cheap being poor.
What are you doing with that?
Kind of just, had a little sippy sip. Do you want a little sippy sip?
I don't know, sippy sip, but if I put this in the behind the scenes, my mom sees this and she's like, oh, you're drinking beer and whiskey at 8 a.m.? But here's the thing.